Are you looking for the premier real estate marketing platform? We're going to be talking about today with Coach Jim Hill. Jim is the coach of Ylopo. We're going to be digging into that on why you should be looking into it and trying to build your business around that. And we're also going to be talking to his wife and partner, and we're going to be digging into partnerships and domestic partnerships specifically and how to best set those up for success. So welcome, Lori. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you.
It's very cool to have you guys on board. We just met recently at an event, and now we're at the same firm. It's great to have you on the program.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah.
So let's dig in first. Let's get into that, the meat. Let's get into Ylopo.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've heard good things and I've heard not so good things. People, they drop it out. They don't get anything from it. They're chasing things all around the country or around the state or whatever. You are crushing it with it, and you're a coach. So You're the man. We want to hear the real dope.
Absolutely. Well, people come to Ylopo for lead generating, so to speak, and don't realize that it's an entire system to help them promote their business. It runs anywhere from high technology AI, calling your leads, literally when leads come in, AI voice, to AI text, AI texting leads. Not to mention what it does, it coordinates with a lot of different CRMs, but the best coordination is through Follow Up Boss. The information you get on a lead is phenomenal. What they've been doing on your website, homes they've been seeing. The lead generation initially with the lead coming in asks up to 20 questions, which gives you all kinds of information about a person's intent.
Jim, let me jump in. Yep. Let me interrupt. Back it up. What is Ylopo? Like how does it work? In general.
It works in general. So at the very basic, you get a branded website from Ylopo, and that branded website, you can apply marketing budget to it, actually. And so they market across Google platforms, PPC, pay-per-click, and also social media, Facebook, Instagram. People click on an ad for that marketing budget, and then it generates a lead within your CRM. Typically, Follow Up Boss. We use Follow Up Boss.
Okay. Are you creating the ads?
No, Ylopo creates all the ads.
Yep.
They market homes in your area for people to click on, and people are interested in that home and want more information on it.
So
it's
set it and forget it almost until the leads start coming in?
I wouldn't say that. Go ahead, Lloyd.
I was to say, no, not at all. Don't set it and forget it, because that's the biggest mistake you would make. Okay. Because to be a successful realtor, the number one thing is follow up. And people that's one thing they avoid. And whatever goes on in their head, I'm going to guess most people think, oh, I'm bugging someone. You're not. And we once were told, follow up until they put a restraining order out on you.
I love that.
Can't take credit for it, but
I'm all in that.
But I'll tell you what, if you keep following, we've had several people that were like, thank you so much for staying with me, sending me, it can be months. Realize that people, think of yourself when you bought your first home or even a second, third home. Did you just one day go, oh, I'm going to go buy a house? And very rare. You don't know what you want you think you do. But then once you go out and start looking, things could change. And as you're a realtor, there's a lot to the process. Pre-approval, making sure. So anyway, follow-up is key. So don't set it and forget it.
100% agree. Following up on the front end of it, where the marketing piece of it, the ads, the management of all that. Are you involved in that at all, or is it the
no? That is kind of, we set a marketing budget. We meet with the Ylopo marketing team quarterly and kind of say, hey, where do you want your marketing budget to go? You can set so much to social media, so much to Google, and also what types of leads do you want? Do you want buyer leads? Do you want seller leads? And on top of that, what type of ads do you want to run? Because there's a difference in the ads. There's a standard ad, and there's also what's called a direct connect ad, which are kind of targeted to ask more questions to a person to get their intent. And typically, if somebody's answering up to 20 questions, they have a real intent to transact and buy or sell a home. So
those questions are being, how are they getting that?
A form. So they click on it, and then they come to basically they can see a house, up to 3 houses before they have to fill out a form. And
Okay.
then the form basically asks them, do you currently own a home? What's your time frame? What's your budget? How many bedrooms? How many baths? Do you have to sell before you buy? Typical general questions that you want to know as a realtor. And that all gets fed into your CRM. So you have a lot of information going into the person to work with, right? So,
And those questions are being answered by AI or you?
no, they ain't being answered. They're being directed by the ad, right? By
Okay.
think of it as a Google form almost, you're familiar with. And then it's being answered by the lead. The lead is answering them when they come in to look at a home. So they're giving their direct information to you
Okay.
before they see homes.
And is it an ongoing process before it gets to you? You mentioned AI is involved.
Well,
From what I understand,
AI is involved.
there's some kind of conversations going on before they even
Yeah.
get to you. Is that correct?
No, actually they come to me and then AI gets involved. So right immediately, speed to lead, what happens is AI voice will call the lead and introduce itself. Hi, this is Jim and Lori's virtual assistant calling on a recorded line. Thanks for visiting our website type of thing. What were you looking for? And ask a series of questions and then actually attempt to do a direct transfer to us as realtors. So the phone will ring. We have that phone number set to AI voice. Phone rings. We know it's a lead coming in. It's already talked to AI voice. It says we have a lead on the line for you. Its name is Joe. And we say, hey, Joe, this is Jim. How are you doing today? I'm standing in line at the grocery store. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I'm not in front of a computer right at the moment, right? But wherever you're at, it's just, hey, it's a direct transfer of a lead. I mean, you can't ask for better than that as a realtor, right? People.
Yeah, that is premium when you're getting direct. And sometimes and it's the same thing if you use other platforms that are supplying leads that sometimes they don't stay on the line. But the other thing beyond that, the voice, that's the direct that you would get directly a call is the texting. So it's a similar thing. So they will send a text and say, hey, this is Jim or Lori's assistant. When they start asking them a series of questions, are you looking to move soon? And what is your time frame? And they actually have a conversation. And people don't really realize they're actually talking to AI. And then we'll get a prompt then, and we just got one a little bit ago, priority lead. Well, this person's engaged with the AI and for whatever reason. And so then we have to follow up with a call. So there's two ways that it works.
And not only on top of that, we can take over the AI conversation. So we can act as the AI, go in, pause the AI and say, hey, something like, hey, Jim just walked into the office. Are you open to a quick 5-minute conversation with him? Right. Yeah. And they'll say, yeah, have him call, give me a call. Or no, can you call at 5 p.m.? And so it's, and I swear people would rather chat with the AI in text than pick up the phone and talk to me. It's like, it makes me kind of feel kind of bad. It's like, talk to a realtor, but you'll talk to this AI.
How do you set it up? Well, actually, we didn't get into, when I first heard this, I didn't know what Ylopo meant. I didn't know how to spell it. It's Ylopo, correct?
Ylopo. And the founders, G and Howard, used the last 5 letters of the word monopoly and spun it around backwards. And that's how they came up with the name. Because literally, if you use everything in the system, it really kind of monopolizes the real estate market for you, right? There's just so many things that goes into it.
And
it is pretty complex.
So the ads that are out there, are they the local service ads? Are they sponsored ads when I'm going on school?
Yeah. So, well, it depends. They're all different. I mean, so social media ads are different than the Google pay-per-click, but they'll work your Google business profile and your local service ads for you. They do for us. So we get we get top of the funnel LSA, local service ads leads, and a lot of Ylopo leads may be top of funnel to mid funnel. Occasionally there's somebody who wants to transact right away, but they're all nurture leads, right? And that's fine. I mean, literally, we closed on a lead that came in 2.5 years ago, just 2 months ago. Follow up and you brought up one key thing early on is like people say, oh, this lead generation sucks, or the lead sucks. I hear that a lot, but reality is it all has to do with your follow up process.
Right.
And
it's all business. It's just, is it today's business or is it next year's business or next month or 6 months or 2 years?
100%.
Well, and building a relationship with these people. Okay. There are a lot of people, we do a lot of relocation. And like Jim was saying, this one person, I mean, it was like 2 years ago and they came from New York to North Carolina. And on top of it, we built a good enough relationship that they trusted us to even find them a realtor in New York and use, which you can get a referral fee doing that. So we still, and we've made some wonderful relationships. Next week, we're meeting with all of our Fuquay people for lunch.
Yeah.
So do you set the parameters for the locations you want to be in?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lead comes in and let's say they don't pick up the phone, but they're looking at homes. They've been looking at a dozen homes. There's usually a common theme, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, under $500,000. And maybe it's Durham. They're only looking at Durham. So I'll set up their search like that. And then I'll continually push homes on them, similar to what Zillow does, right? Zillow, how they market, #1 real estate website in the world. They push listings on people. And that's all I do with people is push.
And from that, so the whole system will always send them, because you set up a search criteria for them at the beginning. One automatically sets up from what they are looking at, but then once you talk to them, you can set them up on what they're really looking for. And so from that, they'll get emails if there's a new house that pops on the market. But the push listings also is a way to re-engage them. And on top of it, again, if they get engaged, they can then say, I'm interested in this property. Please contact me, or please send me more information on this property. Or they can even click, I want to see this property. And we'll get a notification, and then we can immediately connect with them and follow up and follow through.
Are you engaging them with other points of value of information other than the listings?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So other than listings, Ylopo offers a market trends, which is based on Altos research data that updates every Friday. So market trends, a market action index that shows whether it's a buyer or seller's market. So we engage them with that.
Is that something you have to set up, or is that just part of the system?
No, I can in 3 clicks, I can get them a market report, right? With the Ylopo tools that's tied to their branded site.
Okay.
And
then it goes out automatically after the 3 clicks?
I send it in an email. What I do is I've created templates that send those out, actually.
Okay.
You were going to say something, Lori?
Well, because it keeps coming up to me to, as you mentioned at the beginning here, that some people are like, you said I heard good things and bad things. And so I think one of the things that people don't realize when they join Ylopo is the complexity. And they also don't realize the tools as well as the support. There's a lot of support. And the thing is, here's how Jim got us where we are. Okay. Jim was working a full-time job when we started using Ylopo, actually. And he literally took his lunchtime every day. There is a free call every day at noon.
Coaching call.
Now he's leads some of those calls. Okay. Or he's on the call and supports, but that is there for you. Jim is a coach. You can set up a time to, I actually did one for me because I'm the client actually for Ylopo. And so if you need help, the support is there. And I think that's the thing that people don't realize. It is complex, but ask questions. Yeah. Everything you do, information is key, right?
How tech savvy does somebody have to be to get?
They really don't have to be that tech savvy. There's just a lot of things that you can utilize. And people don't realize that these tools are out there. The coaching is out there, right? So what really happens is people come to Ylopo because they think it's a silver bullet. Like you said, it all just happens and you're going to transact. That's not really you still have to follow up, right? There's a lot of options in marketing available to you, and people just don't. Realtors, it's unfortunate, but 45% of realtors never actually respond to somebody coming to them and asking for information. I don't know if you heard Mike Del Prete. If you're familiar with Mike Del Prete, he is a University of Colorado professor and he is all things real estate, but he's not a realtor. He just is really savvy. And he did a study, independent study, just reaching out to realtors, and 45% of them never responded through various means, whether it's answering an ad or a phone call or whatever. And that's a really kind of sad state of affairs. It goes to show how realtors actually follow up,
and how much help people need in general.
And half of them don't, right? And the thing is, for me, when we started Ylopo 2.5 years ago, we said it sucked. First 3 months, we're like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Lori called
the CEO and said, listen, and let me just, the thing is they said, they went into our follow-up boss. I said, look, what are you guys doing? They said, you need to follow up with these people way more than you are. Average realtor calls once or twice. It's a statistic. It's 8 to 12 if not up to 20 contacts before people will talk to you, right?
In general, not just real estate.
In general. So and they said, we have these free coaching calls. Why don't you get on them? I got on the coaching calls, learned what Ylopo was all about, and we've become very successful because of it. So
it's a commitment. It is a commitment.
That number saying 20 people, you got to call it 20 times. You alluded to the attitude of many agents saying, I don't want to bother these people. I'm being a pain. People have lives. They're at work. They have kids.
Right.
They want this to get done. They need somebody to keep on them and keep it going.
That's right.
We're not bugging people. We're helping them.
Here's the key. Dreams come true. Seriously.
Right. Here's the key. You don't call people and just say, I'm checking in, right? There's no value to it. You may as well just ask somebody, are you ready to transact yet?
Right.
It's like, so you provide value. That's where push listings really come in. People came to your website because they want to see houses. So text them more houses and stay with them. We just closed on a $2 million home. All I did was push listings on the guy consistently to the point where finally one day he calls and says, hey, I want to see these 3 homes. Are you available at 3 p.m.? And I was like, no, I'm not available. Are you available this afternoon? I said, not till 3 p.m. And he was like, well, I'll go ride by him. And he rode by 2 of the houses. He's sitting in front of the third, says, I really want to look at this house. We went and looked at it. 9-acre estate in Apex, right? And we're walking the property. He's like, Jim, thank you. I'm a busy guy. Thanks so much for sticking with me and continually send me homes until I was ready.
That's right.
Thank you.
That's it. Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
And going back to your other point where 45% of people don't follow up. I've had so many conversations where they'll say, okay, these are people that have their phone number across the internet, on yard signs, on their cards, on the back of buses, everywhere. And if they don't recognize the number, they're not going to answer it because they don't want to get spammed. So they'll take the number, they'll look it up online, and then if it's somebody legit, they'll call them back. Pick up the phone, it'll save you time, and it'll make you more efficient and productive, and you'll get more deals.
100%, Joe. 100%. Lori, what did I say to you the other day? Why do I have to pick up the phone?
Because I'm always like, oh my gosh, you're always on your phone. And it's because someone could be calling to look at it. Could be someone that wants to go look at a property immediately. And we're pretty, one of the things we pride ourselves on as realtors in general is that we like to be very responsive. And so we like people to respond to us right away. So we try and put that out there.
Yes. We hate waiting for answers. We're impatient people generally. Before we got in real estate, we bought a piece of property in Hillsborough and the response was horrible. And we were like, anybody can do better than this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah. And here we are today.
What's funny is he just said we're impatient people. And one of the things that we say to our clients when we're looking at houses is patience and persistence pays off. It's very true. And Jim is typically the patient one. I'm the persistent one. But I'm the one who's impatient. Why are they not answering?
Well, there's 2 sides of it, right? Be impatient on getting to the calls and running your business, and be patient when you're working with the others and going through the process properly.
And the thing is, realtors, it's human nature. When you're calling somebody and they don't pick up the phone, that you make up stuff. Lack of communication, it's human nature. You make something up in your mind that's bad. Oh, they don't want to talk to me. Oh, I'm bugging them. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like,
they ghosted me.
I've had plenty of people. I've called them a number of times and say, sorry, I just been really busy. My mom's been in the hospital. Thanks for sticking with me. Hey, great. Okay, there you go.
Yep.
I measure my days, or I used to. I don't do this anymore. I used to do a lot of texting campaigns. And if I didn't get 2 or 3 stops in a day, I felt like I wasn't doing my job.
Oh, right.
You got to get to know
When
it.
you're looking at it.
You need to know.
You're not getting those. But stops are great. I love stops, right? Here's the thing is that our AI texts people. And what do they say? They say, stop. They've introduced themselves as our assistant. So what do I do at that point? I call the person and say, I'm really sorry if my assistant was bothering you. I understand, but it's their job to follow up, right? So they're just doing what I tell them to do. And then it'll start a conversation because you're apologizing.
That's great. I love that. So let's jump into the coaching piece. We've already talked about Ylopo. It is complex, yet productive.
Productive. It is.
Properly.
You can dive in as deep as you want or as shallow as you want.
Okay.
Right?
The shallow piece, is it still worth it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is, you learn just the basics and follow-up, boss. Of Ylopo puts tags on clients as leads as they're looking on your website or doing actions, where they're looking at a seller report, interacting with things. You get tags, information about leads that you can't say, I know you looked at this property 4 times. You don't tell them that. You send them that property and say, hey, look, I found this property. Are you interested in it? It's already the property that they've looked at 4 times. And they're like, wow, you're right in tune with
I love that. And that's not just Ylopo, and all these systems, and every agent has it on their MLS. They should be doing that. And that's a fundamental following up on what they're doing.
Yeah.
So Ylopo makes it easy. Follow up boss. Did you get into Follow Boss because of Ylopo, or was that?
Yes.
Okay.
I won't mention the name of the other CRM.
Yeah,
we previously used another CRM, but we didn't use it. We really didn't. I'm an engineer in a previous life. And if I didn't like the CRM, that's saying something. If it was like, this isn't working for me, I hate using the CRM. Our brokerage had given us this other CRM. We paid for Follow Up Boss. And it was like, when the people at Ylopo showed us how to use it, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And
yes, they'll help you set up at the beginning. If you're
that's what we do as coaches.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I do as a coach.
Yeah. Tell me the role of the coach.
Yeah, certainly. So as a coach, whether you're a new user or an existing user, right? I go into the people's follow-up boss. We're on a Zoom call. I take over their screen, kind of look at their statistics, how many calls have they making, how it's speed to lead, and kind of go through their follow-up process with them. Follow-up boss, you can set up smart lists. So they have smart lists for new leads, important people who have visited the website or done some type of interaction that created a tag. You have a smart list where they've gone in, they've talked to the AI in some fashion, whether it's AI voice or AI text. Another one is for leads, actually, who have been, some of the lists are redundant a little bit so nobody falls through the cracks. So you have a active list of people who've been active on the website. And then as you talk to people, you mark them hot, warm, or cold. I need to buy a home in the next 3 months, right? Okay, they're hot. And you go into a follow-up process, list 1 through 5, hot, warm, and cold. Hots, they follow up with once a week, warms every 2 weeks, colds like once a month. I guide them through that process, make sure they understand. If they just clear their lists every day, they're following up with everybody who is active. At the same time, make sure that all their leads are in Ylopo, because a lot of people have their CRM. Make sure they're all on some type of remarketing also, and just guide them through providing value to their leads. Here's how to do market trends and provide value there. We put out a monthly newsletter. Here's how I create a monthly newsletter for free, and you can send out to Follow Up Boss. Really, in a lot of ways, coaching Ylopo clients is like just teaching them how to be a realtor. Right.
Good. All right. So we're in a double header here today. Let's jump into a whole new topic, and
all right,
one that is important to discuss, the domestic partnership. And one of the things that I noticed here is you're not jumping over each other in this conversation. You're respecting each other's talk and speaking, and you guys taking good care of yourself. So I'm sure that resonates throughout your partnership.
It does.
How did this happen? I don't mean the marriage. How did you?
He was a stalker, followed me around at a wedding.
He had you on a drip campaign for 2.5 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's a whole nother story, though. We could do a whole show on that.
Yeah, we could do. Yeah, it's comical. No, well, the thing is that I was a realtor when we lived in Michigan for a few years, and then left that, and we ended up down here in North Carolina, and we bought that property, and I became a transaction coordinator.
Okay.
And they said, if you become a realtor, we can have you do more things and you can help us out and you'll make more money. So I said, hey, and Jim said, go for it. And so I started taking the classes. They were all online. And then he said, I could do this. And so he took the classes. And I mean, that's really it. And the rest is history. We're loving what we do. This is basically our retirement now because he's retired from engineering. And so that's really how it happened. Wouldn't you say, Jimmy?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's a hook actually to real estate, which is one of our very first clients actually they're buying their very first house in retirement, moving to North Carolina from New Jersey. We helped them relocate. And to keep a long story short, literally they bought the house virtually, us touring the house. Their offer was accepted. They took a train down here to see the new house. Literally, the woman hugged Lori so hard she picked her up off the ground. She was so excited.
One of those twisting hugs. And yeah. And here's the thing. This is a follow-up story as well, because this client, basically at the beginning, Jim met them for the first time, and the sister-in-law was there and they said, oh, we're using a different realtor. I mean, just slap in the face. But he came home. He didn't give up. He continued on. He sent him listings and emails and texts and just bugged him. And then the guy finally called him and said, I want you to be my realtor. And on the other story with that is after the closing, when we do our special closing, because we have a very closing, Jim was out in the yard.
I'm going to interrupt you, Lori. He didn't bug him. He continued to show
that is true.
At that time, we didn't realize the value.
Right. But in his mind, he was like, I am going to bug this guy. That really was but you're right. He was providing value, and he appreciated it and reached back out. And after their closing we were at the house with them, and he was outside and he was like, Jim, he had tears in his eyes because now I'm going to get tears. He so appreciated what Jim had done to stick with him. So
that's fantastic.
Because if what I've been through in my life to be here now and own this house, Jim, thank you so much for sticking with me.
That's phenomenal.
That's why we're realtors.
So how do you divide up your duties, your time, work side by side?
Well, it just depends on the day, and it depends on what all is going on. I mean, we just that is the bonus for having two realtors as one, because if he's not available, I'm available. We usually meet our clients together for the first time, one for safety also, but that way they've met both of us and they know both of us if one has to step in. I got COVID in July. I had a client here from Maryland, and I was like, he'd met her when she came down previously, and this is her second time down. And I'm like, Jim's going to have to take you to see houses. I didn't know I had COVID. I was just sick. So he had to step in. I mean, that's
right.
It's seamless.
And many times what happens is if I'm following up with somebody, Lori does more of the relationship part of it, taking people through the transactions. We have a transaction coordinator, but we're still engaged in a big way throughout the process. And so Lori will kind of take that portion of it over while I'm still following up with people. And I spend half a day coaching my local clients. So I'm tied up. Yeah.
So that much local. Wow.
Yeah. I coach typically about 3 people a day, and then also run the conference call at noon Eastern time.
Yeah. It's just like tickling back to the Ylopo on the coaching side. Are they paying you individually to coach?
They pay me. I'm like a 1099.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's compensated. Yeah.
So those are the people that are truly engaged and really want to build out their Ylopo program.
Absolutely. All the client success managers will recommend talking to a coach. There's 3 coaches, myself, Matt, and Chris. And then there's 3 realtors in residence who are Barry, Gabe, and Olivia, who run large teams, right? So we're a small team, Lori and I. Yeah. Chris is a single agent, and Matt runs a team out in California.
So going back to the partnership that you have in front of your clients, you're one, which is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And it seems like Lori has the softer touch, and
she's the gatherer. I'm the hunter.
There you go. Are there defined roles behind the scenes that you do?
Not really. We both do it. Not really,
except for his Ylopo. I mean, but it's like I said, we fill in where needed. I could be out doing something or he could be out and say, hey, can you go in and do this? Like yesterday, he was on a call. That was actually a referral, but he said, can you call this person? So I call. And
you both equally know how to get in and out and around and the systems.
Well, he's way better than I am.
I assume that.
But if
Tim's out on the road and something's got to go on in the system, Lori, you can take care of it.
Absolutely.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
One of the things that all realtors have a challenge with, and that's shutting down. How do you live, work together and keep a balance? Or I don't like that word balance. Keep the 2 separate lives going. Or is it all one?
Well, okay, I'm going to answer this one for sure because I am the meter of that. Jim will go from morning till night. He is so passionate about everything he does. And I'm the one who needs, obviously, that's why I do a lot of the relationship stuff, because I'm the one who needs the relationship. So when things are getting tough, I just speak. But Jim always says, we're working, but we're not really working. I mean, so we like one day we had a listing appointment in Lewisburg. We're meeting a buyer in Quay, a new buyer in Fuquay. So we went out together because it was both new things. And in between, we stopped for lunch. And then we even went to dinner. So we have time together.
Yeah.
That's still fun. And we just took a trip to go visit our daughter in Vancouver, Washington, 2 weeks ago or something. So
And we took the first 2 hours of the day to follow up and do some work. Right. And then the rest of the time we enjoyed with them. Right.
And did you have somebody with feet on the ground in North Carolina for you?
we have people. Yeah.
Yeah. There's always people. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of realtor friends. And now we got you too, Joe.
That's right. We refer. We refer out. I mean, if we can't, we find someone. And that did happen, actually. I think we had to have, I had a mentee actually that we've stayed connected. And we reached out to one person. They couldn't do it. So reached out to her. Can you go show this home? We just said, here, take the client. And we're resourceful.
That's fantastic. You need to be.
Yeah.
You'd have to be. Yeah.
This has been packed show. Awesome information. Really 2 powerful sessions here. It's great how the 2 of you are working together and keep it all going and still enjoy each other. How you doing?
We've been married for 38 years. I mean,
yeah,
that's great.
And there was that drip campaign for about 3 before that.
And the Ylopo, I hope agents buy into that. Is there a limit to how many Ylopo agents can be in a certain area?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Because it's all here. It's all branded to you. It's your marketing, right? Okay. So and the leads are all yours. And they're not going. It's not like where you go to a lead gen company and they're selling that person to 4 different people. These are all generated by you for you, and they're
yeah.
Great.
So no limit. Not many people utilize it, right? So that's the thing. It's like here locally. I think there's like maybe a handful. I know a handful of people that use it. And that's great.
You know what? There's plenty of business for everybody.
Absolutely.
And they got to connect with the right person.
Thank you, Lori. I mean, Joe, we're in the same market, right? I mean, it's like I don't feel threatened by you, and hopefully you're not threatened by us.
I mean, think about it. You have 45% of the agents that aren't showing up. So
right, exactly.
Yeah,
it's an unfortunate statistic, but good for all the rest of us who do.
Right, exactly. So people want to get in touch with you about real estate and or Ylopo. I want to take those calls.
The easiest thing, you can Google Jim and Lori Hill. We're all over the internet. So.
Jim and Lori Hill Realtors.
Yeah. And Lori, how do you spell your name for everybody?
Oh, Lori.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
And hillandhills.com, HILLNHILLS.com. Hill and Hills.
Hill and Hills. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. If you are enjoying this show, we're going to continue to bring you phenomenal people. Please subscribe, share, and if you want to be on the show, if you're a realtor and you have something special to talk about, let me know. I'd love to learn. It's all about staying curious and be your best and have fun.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate your time.